Morning everyone, welcome to the Heavenly Harvest Homestead. My name's Ken, and today I'm going to be breaking some new ground in our garden. So let's roll. Alright, let me show you a little bit about what I'm going to try to do today. So I think I talked about this in a previous video, about expanding my garden. So my plan is, where this brick is, this is going to be the top of the garden, and I'm going to go all the way down to where the pomegranate tree is right here. I'm going to break all this ground, and then where the volleyball is over there, I'm going to go all the way over to there. So we're opening up about another 150 square feet of ground garden this year. My plan is to get this done today, but you can see we got a lot of grass in here, so we got to get this all mowed down and picked up so we can get this thing gone. So I want to show you that, what I'm planning to do, and then I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so I have not bought me a broad fork yet, so I'm gonna have to do this a little bit different. I'm gonna use the same basic concept of the broad fork. I'm gonna use my pick to bust the new ground, because if I don't do this, my tiller will bounce all over the place and it wears me out bad. So let me get this ground broke up, and then I'll get back with you in just a second.
Two hours later.
Alright, finally got it all done for the first part. I just got to let the grass die so I can come in here with my burner, burn it up, and then I'll come back and till it all in. Okay, I want to give you all a little tour of our homestead, since we got a lot of things changed up. So we moved the fence from about right here over to here, and then we connected it to the big cage over there. We took there was some chicken wire down here on the bottom. I don't know if you can see the separation right here. We took this part off so they can go in and out of the house there. And now they got a big yard to work with, and they're much happier, seems like. All right, this is the new greenhouse. I think I've showed you that before. I'll show you what we got going on inside. Alright, so here's my tomatoes, some of the tomatoes. This is just some of them. These are the Cosmic Eclipse tomatoes. I've got some peppers back here, some chili peppers. I got some hot peppers, ancho chilies, some sweet peppers, and Tabasco. My jalapenos have not come up for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that. These are 2 Peruvians. So those were given to me by one of my customers. So I put them in there to see what would come up, and they're pretty hot, so I'm probably not going to do more than maybe 2 anyway. All right, in this one we've got some parsley and some purple basil. These are cantaloupes. Another one back there. These are all marigolds, so they should be going out pretty soon. There's that tomato that was in the other greenhouse that I had showed you before. It's thriving well. I need to trim it out because it's getting a lot of limbs down here toward the bottom. I need to scale it up. It's a cherry tomato, I believe. All right, there's my pawpaws. We got 2 of them of the 6 seeds we planted. Here's my persimmons. Got 3 of the 6 seeds we planted from there. I got those seeds from the hunting club. We got some radishes here, and then here's my tray of tomatoes. So I've got everything. These on the end here, these are called Get Stuffed. We got all these seeds from Baker Creek, by the way. These are purple passion. We got white tomato. We got I can't read that one. I'm not sure what that one is. That's another type of tomato. We got Rosetta, and then we got the bumblebee tomatoes. So these are going to be cherries. We got a couple. I think these are also cherries, if I remember right. And then these are going to be our slicer tomatoes. And I've got some more in the house that are going to be my paste tomatoes. We got the seed late from them. And just wanted to show you what was in the greenhouse. Sorry about that. My phone rang. I put you guys on hold. Well, we got another cantaloupe over here. I forgot about it. These are called honey rock cantaloupes. I'd almost decided not to grow any cantaloupes this year because we had such a bad time with them last year, but we figured we'll give them one more chance. Instead of buying them from the Bonnies, we try to do them out of seed. So they're coming up nice, so we'll see what happens. And like I was saying before, inside the house, in the growing room, that's where my paste tomatoes are getting done. We got those. I got those late from Baker Creek. I totally forgot to order them when I ordered from them for the original order. All right, and if you look in here, you can see all this growth in here. We don't have any idea what it is, but it's in a nice row, so I'm not sure exactly what happens. We didn't plant anything here, so I'm not sure what it is. But all this dirt in this box and in this box, which just happens to have the same ones coming up, all came from our volunteer garden that we took down this year. The box had deteriorated to a point where we needed to break it down because it was going to fall out. Dirt's going to fall out everywhere, so I took all the dirt from there and I transplanted it back over to those 2 boxes over there, and now I have growth in them. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes up because we did plant cucumbers in there, but other than that, we haven't planted anything. So be interesting to see. But over here, this is my beets, and I see we have see one that's just now coming up there, and there's another there. All right, we got some growth finally. These things have been slow coming up, but hopefully we'll get some beets out of this. Beth wants to put up some, so hopefully we'll get some beets this year. All right, in this bed right here, this is going to be my tomato bed. So I'm going to put all the tomatoes in this box here. I'm also going to be putting a piece of black cloth down on this part here and putting these blocks back. I'm going to fill this up. This is also going to be tomatoes. So we're growing a lot of tomatoes this year, more than we've ever grown before, just because I need them. I need to be able to put some up. I didn't grow hardly enough last year to put what I needed to put up. Let's see. This box is going to be, we don't know yet. We haven't really decided what we're going to put in there yet. We had a couple things, but we changed our minds, so we're going back and forth on that. But here's my loofahs. So we got loofah seeds from the harvest celebration, and these things are doing really well. I'm going to build them a arbor to go across this this area right here to And also, I'm thinking about making a little arbor to go into this box here that we don't have anything planned for just yet. Our cabbage is doing very well still. We're going to have to harvest it pretty soon and maybe make some sauerkraut or coleslaw or something. I'm not sure what we're going to end up doing. We may just freeze it and use it as we need for cabbage dishes. And my spinach here is getting to a point where we need to harvest it too, because that one big one right there is going to start to bolt if I don't get it out of here pretty soon. Now, let me show you my garlic. And we got some lettuce coming up right there. That was seed that was left over from last year that sat in the ground all over the winter, and then now it's come up. We didn't plant anything here, so that is completely volunteer as well. All right, but here's my garlic. So we're going to get some good garlic out of here. I think there should be enough. I counted up enough. I think there'll be enough for us to have garlic for the entire year. So that'll be nice. We should be harvesting that pretty soon. I'm not sure exactly when you're supposed to harvest the garlic. I got to go look at my book. And my bees doing their thing, flying in and out, making me some honey. Looking forward to that this year. Hopefully I got everything in order. I should be getting my new package of bees pretty soon. I ordered a nook from a lady up close to where we are who had overwintered bees, and I'm going to put them in this horizontal hive I built a couple of years ago. This thing has not been very friendly to me because I've already lost 2 sets of bees out of it, but I think it was something I was doing wrong, not the bees. So I'm going to change up my system a little bit here, and when I do that, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I got the ground garden all tilled up initially, getting all this grass up here on the top and let it die off, and then I'm going to take my burner and I'm going to go across this and burn up all this grass, and then I'm going to till it all back in. And we need to amend this soil too, because I did stretch this out quite a bit more than it was last year. So if you look, I've added from where this grass patch is to right here, and the same on the top side up there, and made it wider. So now I have about, I think, if I remember right, about 500 square foot of ground garden I'll be able to grow in, which is going to be pretty awesome. This is going to be all our zucchini, peppers, our hot peppers, our okra. Things going to go in this particular garden here. All right, there's my pomegranate, and it is not looking very healthy, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. Both my figs seem to be getting some leaves on them now. They're starting to do their thing. Up here in the front, all my pears are bloomed out. Looking forward to getting some pears out of these 2 trees right here in the front. All my blueberries got buds on them. You know, these are going to be bursting with blueberries very soon. And something I always love to see is bees pollinating it. You know, that means they're going to do well. And Gizmo wants to come say hello right by my beautiful new red azalea. I planted that last year late, and I'm so happy to see it, you know, popping up with some color in my garden here, because the other ones around them are white. Except, well, the one on the corner I think is is a pink one. Then my phlox is starting to come out. This is creeping phlox, so it should be supposed to spread across the garden. Well, here comes my other kitty cat. So in case you ain't met my kitty cats, this is Max, and this one is Gizmo. They're our barn cats. They stay outside and they keep the mice at bay and the moles, and they do a great job of it. I find a mole about every other week, because they seem to hear them in the ground. All right, one last thing I want to show you is my crabapple tree. It is really rocking with some good blooms, and I'm very hopeful, because the weather doesn't look like it's going to turn ugly, to actually get some apples this year. So we'll keep hoping for that. All right, so I wanted to show you what we had going around the homestead here, and I'll get back to you in just a minute. Oh, let me give you a little story about our Holly baby here and how good of a dog she's been. See, what was it? I think it was Monday night. Yeah, I think it was Monday night, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Actually, it'll be Saturday, Tuesday morning. I got woken up from her barking, and she was barking like crazy. I couldn't figure out what was going on, so I come out to look and see. Sometimes the dogs in the neighborhood start barking, and she goes on the, let's echo out, repeat the message or whatever. But it wasn't that. She was staring directly down where our chickens are, which is right over there. And so I stepped out on the deck, and I heard one of our chickens squall. I'm like, what in the world? So I went and throwed my boots on, got a flashlight, and I come running over to see what's going on, and we had a possum inside of our chicken yard over there, laying on top of one of our black copper marans. And I kicked him in the head, knocked him off our chicken, and then I kicked him all the way down the hill, down there where Beth is. Oh, she's trying to hide behind a tree. You know, all the way down, I basically kicked him about 7 times. Unfortunately, like an idiot, I didn't bring my gun, you know, so I could have dispatched him. But, so he got away, but he ended up running underneath my hay barn over here. And when I looked up underneath there with the flashlight, there's about probably a dozen or more eggs that are cracked open, duck eggs that I guess my duck's been laying up underneath there, and I guess the possum had already had a meal on. But that's just letting you know, possums do attack chickens. It's not a myth. It is true. I was surprised myself when I saw it, but now I know it to be true because I've seen it. So I wanted to tell you, brag on my dog a little bit, because she has really done a great job around here alerting us when things are going on. We had our Finn and Honey, Buttercup down there the other day. They opened the gate up and were just strolling around down here in the yard. That was the day I was sick. And they were out here strolling around the yard, and Holly's barking up a batch. So if she hadn't barked, I would have never known they was out here, and who knows where they would have gone and torn up. So I'm telling you what, if you don't believe in Great Pyrenees, I can tell you they are extremely aware of what's going on in their surroundings, and they will alert you whenever something is not right around the homestead. So I want to give her some kudos, because she has already shown herself a great member of our homestead. So I wanted to tell you about that. Hey everyone, before I close this video up tonight, I want to share some things with you. With this virus going around, there's a lot of fear going on. But God tells us in 2 Timothy 1:7 that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. So, with a sound mind, that means that we should understand what is happening. And if you read the Bible, the Lord tells us that there will be temptations to hurt man. He also tells us that the answer is Jesus. God is in control. Trust me on that. God is in control. That doesn't mean that He's the one that started this, but He's the one that can finish it. Because Jesus died on that cross, He finished all the sin. But our nation has slid so far away from God that it might be time for a reckoning. It might be time for our country to be humbled before God. And even though we don't have much of this sickness in our country compared to other countries, it doesn't mean that God's not trying to tell us something. That doesn't mean our scientists are any smarter. It doesn't mean that our president is any smarter. It doesn't mean anything about anybody being more wise or anything else. It's simply the fact that God is giving us a chance to redeem ourselves, our country. Last Sunday we had a National Day of Prayer. And I prayed hard for our country. Because the Bible says, if you pray for your nation, and the nation will humble themselves before him, he'll heal that nation. And that's what I'm praying for, is that God will see a reverence from the United States. It's not about showing any favor to anybody, but about showing reverence to God. That's what our country was founded upon, is the virtues of the Lord. The morality that we have today is from all his commandments. And without him, we have no morals. We have nothing. But my pastor says this quite often, and I want to share it with you, that about fear. And fear, the letters F-E-A-R, can be represented by false evidence appearing real. So when you look at what's going on in the news with this coronavirus or COVID-19, however they want to spin it, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is real. But I think God has just given us a little bit of a warning. And as a homesteader, we've already started to prepare for taking care of our family. Not because of a virus, not because of anything that the world has said that we need to do, but because we feel the need to take care of us as God provides. Because believe me or not, nothing grows without God. Nothing without his benevolent hand happens at all. He's been in control since the very beginning. And when we plant seeds in the ground, they don't come up by themselves. First, the seed has to die in order for new life to come up. And God has his hand in that. Paul tells us we have to die to self to be glorified in the eyes of God. So if you look at yourself as a seed planted in the dirt, in order for you to grow into anything that is worthy, you have to die of yourself to become something that you were not. We're not of this world. And I'm not saying this in some kind of weird celestial thing. I'm saying this simply that we are not of this world. We are not childs frozen by sin, because Jesus said he was going to die that no one shall die, that no one should suffer, that no one be forsaken. But we've taken this road where we've chosen and ignored the warnings of being in the world. We've given no reverence to God. And when I'm speaking about our country, because up till this last president that's come into office, I can't remember a single utterance of reverence to God from that particular office. I spent many years in the military, serving under the Clinton administration. I'm not going to cast dispersions about them, because I think that's one of the problems right now is we're carrying so much hate for things that it's not even in our control. Nothing that we can do. So why have hate against someone that we have no control over? One of my students was talking about this the other day, about he's got a lot of Christian friends that he hangs around with. But at the mention of Nancy Pelosi, they lose their mind, start immediately casting dispersions about that woman, talking about her very hatefully. And he scorned them about this. And I think I've told this to you guys before, especially if you're a Christian. Lost people are going to act like lost people. We can't expect them to act like us. Because at one point we weren't Christians, we were just like them. And people probably said the same thing about us. Why is that person doing that? I can't believe what they're doing. When sin overtakes a person, the devil can control everything you do. So the one thing that we need to really put our disdain into is sin. Jesus said it very, very plainly. We're supposed to love our brethren. But we're supposed to turn away from the sin. So if you have a person who is sinning, we should be praying for that person, not condemning them. Because God has not put us here to judge anybody. He's put us here to share the gospel and the Great Commission of love your neighbor as yourself. And love your God with all your heart, and all your soul, and all your mind. We only love because God first loved us. So, I'm just asking tonight for you to lay down all this contempt about what's going on in this world. Stop casting the dispersions around and turn your eyes to heaven. Fall on your knees and pray to the God of heaven that He will heal our nation. We have a chance. And I don't know how much longer we're going to have, because Jesus didn't tell us when He's coming back. He tells us to look for it, though. And I know there's probably going to be some people that are going to see this and they're going to say, well, that guy is lost his mind. Well, I will say to those, I want to take up the mantle that God has put me here for. And that's to spread the word of Jesus. The gospel. The great news. So I hope you guys have enjoyed our videos. And I hope you enjoyed the video today. But more than that, I hope that this final message will resound in you and give you some comfort. Because just like it says, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. And do remember this always. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. God bless. Love you.